Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai
Hello.
Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om
Oh
Tat
yeah.
Sat Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, so we are on
Oh, okay, nice.
the 16th Karika, and we have seen that Vishwa, Tejasa, and Prajna. We have seen the distribution of ignorance and ignorance products across them. So now we will go and read this particular
Yeah,
Karika.
nice. Good to see you.
Okay.
Yeah. We are listening to that class now. It just started. Yeah. It's okay, but we're happy to see you.
All right.
Yes,
So
Mandukya Upanishad.
Anadi Maya Suptaha. Please unmute yourself. We are on
Good to see you.
Karika 16. So we will chant Anadi Maya Suptaha.
Anadi Maya Suptaha.
Yada Jiva Prabudhyate.
Yada Jiva Prabudhyate.
Ajam Anidrama Swapnam.
Ajam Anitram Asat
Advaitam Buddhyate Tada.
Advaitam Buddhate Tada.
Okay, I'll just mute you all and we'll carry on. So we saw that the obstacles between us recognizing our thorium status essentially are ignorance and error, which is the ignorance born product, right? So that is what is said here. Suptaha, ignorant of your status of thorium. Why ignorant? Because of ajnanam and ajnana karyam. That is because of ignorance and error. And what is the origin of ignorance and error? So he says anadi maya. So anadi maya, born from beginningless maya. And what are they? The other terms are ajnanam, and the term used for the error is also adhyasa, the superimposition. So the ignorance of your thorium status leads to superimposition of the other three, Vishwa, Tajasa, and Prajna, and therefore Anadi Maya. Ajnanam and Adhyasa both are beginningless. Yada Jiva Prabudhyate. Whenever the Jiva wakes up to what? To his real nature. And how does he come to know of his real nature? We have to supply all this Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam through Shastric study for a prolonged period of time under a competent teacher, all that we know. And when that finally Jiva knows that he is not the body mind sense complex, when he knows that he is not Vishwa, he is not Tajasa, he is not Prajna, but he is a very substratum, which is Thuriam. So Yada Jiva Prabudhyate, when the Jiva wakes up to his real nature, Tada Buddhyate, at that time in his Buddhi, Buddhyate, he recognizes what that is Thuriam. And what kind of Thuriam? So second line says Ajam, Anidram, Aswapnam, Advaitam. There are four adjectives. Ajam, beginningless. The beginningless means without sthula shariram also, right? Since jnanam, it's in janma associated with sthula shariram. Therefore, ajam means there is no shariram at all. Anidram. Anidram means without sushupti, without karana shariram. So each of these we have to connect to the three bodies. So ajam, without the gross body, without sthula shariram, he is not a Vishwa. Anidram, without sushupti, without karana shariram, he is not Prajna. Aswapnam, without the sukshma shariram, without the adhyasa of the dream, and therefore he is not Tayasa also. So these three adjectives, they rule out the status of Vishwa, Tayasa, and Prajna for me. Then what am I? Advaitam, non-dual, divisionless. So we say Vishwa Tejasa Prajna Vilakshanaha. Vilakshanaha means different from. So I am that Advaitam, that Turiam, that Brahman, that Atma, which is Vishwa Tejasa Prajna Vilakshanaha, which is free from these three statuses. Iti buddhyate, the sadhaka recognizes this fact. And Shankara explains this very nicely in his commentary. So he says, this jiva, this samsari jiva, suptaha, he is eternally sleeping. Why? Because he doesn't know that he is a Turyam. So he is asleep to his status as Turyam, as Brahman. And that sleep, he defines this very beautifully. He is asleep to his status as Brahman. And this sleep, which sleep, because of which he doesn't know that he is Turyam, that he is Brahman, that sleep has been there from Anadi Kalaha, from beginningless time. What is that sleep called? Maya. So that sleep, because of which you don't know that you are Brahman, that sleep is called Maya. And Maya has two components. We have already talked about that. What are the two components? Ajnanam. What Ajnanam? The fact that I do not know that I am Turyam. And from that Ajnanam, what comes? The Bijam comes, this from the seedum, from the seed, Bija Atmana, that seed which is Ajnanam, what comes? Adhyasa comes. And Adhyasa we saw as Anyatha Grahanam, misconceptions. So first you have Ajnanam, and then you have misconceptions because of the Ajnanam. And Shankara in his commentary, he gives a few examples of these misconceptions. So he says, this is my father. Mama ayam pita. This is my father. That is a misconception. Ayam putraha. This is my son. That is a misconception. This is my great grandson. That is a misconception. This is my land. That is a misconception. This is my wealth. That is a misconception. I am the owner of all this. That is a misconception. I am happy. That is a misconception. I am sad. That is a misconception. All these are misconceptions, right? So he gives a few more examples. I have become poor because of this. I have become rich because of these. All these are misconceptions. And he says they are all nothing but dreams. Therefore, as long as you are associated with Vishwa status and Tajasa status, that is, as long as you are identified as Vishwa and Tajasa in the Jagrat and Swapna avasthas, you are dreaming. So Vishwa is a longer dream, Tajasa is a shorter dream. And then Shankara writes very nicely, so because of his prarabdha, because of his good prarabdha, he meets a teacher. And the teacher tells him, Tvam evam na asi. Right? Tvam evam na asi means you are not what you think you are. You're thinking in a particular manner that you are so and so. And what is all that? That we have seen before. Father, mother, son, grandfather. So, Tvam evam na asi. You are not what you think you are. And he says, Kintu, but Tattvamasi. You are that Atman which is beyond the Vishwa, Tajasa, and Prajna. And in this manner, you should understand. So Shankara very beautifully summarizes the whole thing. You should understand that I am Brahman. And while you appreciate that there is Vishwa, there is Tajasa, and there is Prajna, you should understand that those are all statuses which are associated with a particular body. And since I don't have a body, I really don't have any of those statuses at all. Now we will chant Karika number 17. Again, a very nice Karika. So please unmute yourself. Prapancho yadi vidyet
प्रपञ्चो यदि विद्येत्
nivartetana samshayaha
निवर्तेत न संशयः
संशयः
maya matram idam dvaitam
मायामत्रमिदं द्वैतम्
advaitam paramarthataha.
द्वैतं परमार्थतः.
Okay, so now this is an answer to a possible question. What is the question? You have been saying time and again that you will understand Brahman. That is, you will get Jnanam only through the elimination of the universe. Prapancha has to go away, right? So what is the question? Knowledge is possible only when Prapancha is there and you understand that Prapancha has gone away, right? This is the contradiction. To get knowledge, you are in the Prapancha. But knowledge you can get only if the Prapancha, the universe, goes away. And so the question is, as long as the universe is there, there is Dvaitam. Therefore, until the universe goes away, how can there be Advaitam? Therefore, how can you say that Advaita Jnanam is there as long as the universe has not gone away? So, why are you saying this? Because during study, whenever you are studying the Shastram, you are there, the world is there, you are there, teacher is there, Shastram is there. Duality is very much there. And you are also saying that Advaita Jnanam means the world has gone away. How can I gain Advaita Jnanam without the world going away? That is the question. So, what is the answer? When we say the universe ends, do we mean that the universe ends, or do we mean that the experience of the universe ends? Which is it?
Experience of the universe ends.
Anybody else?
That we mean that the universe ends because we identify as there's no more Dvaitam, but however, in Paramartika, there will be still experience of the universe.
When you say that the sun no longer, when you understand that sun doesn't rise or set, does your experience of the sunrise and sunset go away?
No.
Right. So neither the world ends nor the experience of the world ends. All that I understand is that the universe is mithya. And a mithya vastu cannot be counted as a second thing. And therefore there is no universe at all. That is what is being said over here. So he says, Prapancho yadi vidyeta. If the world really existed, right? Prapancho yadi vidyeta. If the world really existed, nivartetana samshayaha. It will definitely, we can talk about it going away. Right? If you are saying the world has to disappear, that I can talk about, yes. But only if the world really existed. Therefore, prapancho yadi vidyeta, if the world really existed, nivartetna samshayah, it will definitely go away. There is no doubt about that. But idam dvaitam maya matram. This dvaita prapancha is there only because of maya. Right? It doesn't really exist at all. And so Shankara explains here that the world is an adhyasa, right? It's a superimposition. And the most famous example we use all the time is the Rajju Sarpa, this rope snake. So the world is exactly like the snake. It is an adhyasa superimposed upon Brahman, just like the snake is superimposed upon the rope. And when I inquire into the rope, if the snake really existed, it would definitely go away. It would definitely disappear. But in the case of a snake which is kalpitaha, which is imagined, which is superimposed upon the rope because of an error, Jnanam does not remove the snake. What does Jnanam do?
It reveals the rope.
It reveals a rope and therefore shows you that there is no snake to be removed. Right? The removal of the snake is not necessary. What Jnanam shows you is that there is no snake to be removed. Similarly, Jnanam does not eliminate the world. It shows you that there is no world which is required to be eliminated. Then what actually goes away in the when Jnanam comes, what actually goes away? What goes away is my delusion that there is a Dvaita Prapancha. This Dvaita Prapancha cannot go because it's not there at all. Only something which goes can be eliminated, right? And since it is not there at all, there is no question of elimination. Right? It's like supposing you are having a dream that a tiger is chasing you, okay? And you wake up shouting, help me, help me. When you wake up, does the tiger go away because you are shouting? No. Your waking up reveals to you that what has gone away is the delusion that there was a tiger. So that's why he says Advaitam Paramarthataha. Paramarthataha is the absolute reality. The Paramarthik reality is that there is only Advaitam. There was Advaitam. There is Advaitam. There will continue to be Advaitam. There is no Dvaitam at all. There was only a delusion of Dvaitam. Dvaita Brahma. Brahma of Dvaitam was there. Dvaita Brahma. Delusion of Dvaitam. So what should one do? Understand that that snake is not there by inquiring into the rope. Remember, the inquiry is into the rope. Only when you understand the real nature of the rope as a rope will the snake go away. Only when you understand the real nature of the world as Brahman, the world will go away. Okay. So now we take the 18th Karika. Please unmute yourself. विकल्पो विनिवर्तेत
विकल्पो विनिवर्तेत
कल्पितो यदि केनचित्
कल्पितो यदि केनचित्
उपदेशादयं वादः
उपदेशादयं वादः
उपदेशादयं वादः
उपदेशादयं वादः
ज्ञाते द्वैतं न विद्यते
ते
नाते
न
द्वैतं
विद्यते
न विद्यते
So that Upadeshadayam Vadaha, the breakup is Ayam Vadaha Upadeshat, for the purpose of instruction. This discussion is for the purpose of instruction. Okay, I'll just mute you all and they will. Right. So we said that in the previous Karika, we said that Jnanam, it doesn't eliminate Dvaitam because there is no Dvaitam to be eliminated. What Jnanam eliminates is the delusion of Dvaitam. And when the delusion of Dvaitam is eliminated, then what remains is Advaitam. So here one more question is there by Purva Pakshi. He says, but when I am studying, what all are there? Guru is there, Shastram is there, Shishya is there. These are all divisions. These are all Vikalpaha. How can this Triputi go away? How can Guru, Shastram and Shishya disappear? What is the answer?
There is no
Because-
Triputi.
yeah.
You have to think about how we talked about the word going away.
Because that's only a delusion. The
It is
appearance.
only a error, a delusion. The Shishya, the Shastram, and the Guru, they are not there. They are mithya. And therefore they will not go away. But the experience of these three will remain. So experience does not prove reality. That we have seen in the example of the rising sun also. Even after I know that the sun apparently rises because of the rotation of the earth, my experience of the sunrise and the sunset does not go away. In fact, I go to the beach and I take wonderful photographs also of sunrise, sunset, and I put them on Facebook and Instagram also. Experience doesn't go away. What goes away is the delusion that there is a sun rising or there is a sun setting, right? So, to revert the problem is the idea that jnanam presupposes Dvaitam, right? Whenever we talk about jnanam, in our mind, what all are there? The Triputi is there. The knower, the known, and the pramanam. The pramata, pramanam, prameyam. The knower, the source of knowledge, and the known. All three are there all the time. Therefore, we cannot discuss jnanam at all without this knower-known duality. And therefore, the question is, if jnanam eliminates all duality, does it not eliminate the knower-known duality? But the knower-known duality, the Shishya, Acharya, Shastram, this duality is the very foundation upon which jnanam rests, is it not? Jnanam cannot come without this duality. And therefore, the question is, how can you say that you are eliminating the very foundation and then jnanam will still stand? You cannot say. How can you say Advaitam Paramarthataha? Non-duality alone is. So the answer here is given here. Yadi vikalpo kenachit kalpitaha. Yadi, if vikalpaha, these divisions, this duality, kenachit kalpitaha, were created by somebody, then what? Then vinivarteta. Then we can say that yes, it will go away. Then we can talk about it going away. But Gaudapada says, Ayam Vadaha Upadeshat. So that Upadeshadayam Vadaha has to be rearranged. Ayam Vadaha Upadeshat. Upadesham means instructions, teaching purposes. Ayam Vadaha, this discussion here involving Guru, Shishya, Acharya, all these things, Shastram, this discussion is only for the purposes of teaching you. Whereas Jnate, after getting knowledge, Dvaitam na vidyate, no duality can ever be seen. So Shastram, for the sake of teaching us, Shastram accepts, presupposes, or brings in the knower known divisions. But once the teaching has been imparted successfully, there will be no knower known duality. Not even the teacher student Shastram duality. This will also not be there. What goes away, the experience, remember, of the teacher, Shastram, and student doesn't go away. What goes away is Vikalpa Brahma. Vikalpa Brahma, the notion or the delusion that there is a duality. That goes away. Therefore, after gaining jnanam, there's a nice what I call corollary to this. No jnani will ever claim that he is a jnani. If you go and ask a jnani, are you a jnani? He will give you some sort of answer. Isn't everybody? Everybody is. No, I am not. Who is a jnani? All the answers will give you. But he'll never say I'm a jnani. Why will he not say I'm a jnani?
Because saying that he's a jnani is already creating duality. Some people, there is jnanim and not
There is
jnanis.
jnanam and there is ajnanam. Also, there is knower and known, right? Pramata, pramayam, duality he has to claim when he says I'm a jnani. Therefore, he can never say that. All he can claim is I am Turyam, free of these divisions. And again, remember that when the jnani claims I am Turyam, I am Brahman, he is negating Dvaitam, yes, but he is not negating experience of Dvaitam. And this is a very important point here. As a jnani, you will definitely negate Dvaitam. You will say there is no duality. But you will not say that duality experience is also not there. Duality experience will continue for a jnani also. The only difference is what? He does not attribute any reality to the Dvaitam. And you can see the logical argument for this. Supposing this is not true. Supposing when the jnani comes to Advaitam, for him, supposing the experience of the Dvaitam is also negated, what is the problem? When a jnani comes to Advaitam, we are saying what? He negates Dvaitam, but he does not negate the experience of Dvaitam. Supposing that is not true. Supposing you are saying that, okay, jnani negates not only Dvaitam, jnani negates the experience of Dvaitam. What is the problem? It's a very real problem. What is the problem? See, if I am negating the experience of Dvaitam, I am also negating the fact that I am a knower, right? Only the one who is a knower can be a teacher. Therefore, if you are saying jnani will negate the experience of Dvaitam also, then there can be no teachers in the world. The moment he becomes a jnani, he negates duality, he negates experience of duality also. Therefore, he cannot teach. And that's why Vedanta says that Perception does not prove reality. You look at the blue waters of the ocean. The waters are not blue. You perceive the blue sky above the earth. There is no color to the sky. You perceive a stationary earth. That is not true. Similarly, the Jnani perceives duality all around, but he knows. He does not claim that the perceived duality is the reality. And one should always remember that your indriyas, your sense organs, are designed only to perceive vyavaharika satyam, empirical facts, empirical information, empirical events. Your sense organs are not designed to grasp paramarthika satyam, and therefore whatever is grasped by your sense organs, which are only empirical facts, they cannot reveal the paramarthika satyam, right? And what is the absolute truth? We saw in the seventh mantra, Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vijnayaha. Right. With this, the Kaarikas commenting upon mantra number 7 is over. Now, if you remember the beginning of this session, not this session, the Mandukya Upanishad session, we said that there are two types of enquiry in the Upanishad. One is the enquiry into the four parts, four padas of the Atma. Chatushpada Atma Vichara. That was one. What was the other one? Do you remember?
Omkara Vichara.
Chaturmatra Omkara Vichara. So there were two types of inquiries. One was into the four padas of the Atma. One was into the four parts of Omkara. With the 18th Kaarika, we have completed the Atma Vichara. Now we are going to go into the Omkara Vichara, right? The 8th mantra, with the 8th mantra, we will commence the inquiry into Omkara Vichara. So we will chant the 8th mantra. Please unmute yourself. Soyam Atma Adyaksharam
Soyamaत्माध्यक्षरम्
Omkarodhimatram
ओङ्कारोऽधिमात्रम्
Padamatra
पादामात्रा
Matrascha Pada
मात्राश्च पादा
Akaro Ukaro Makara iti.
अकारा उकारो मकार इति.
So we'll just chant it once more because the first word is a bit, complex. So ayamatmadhyaksharam.
So ayamaत्माध्यक्षरम्
Omkarodhimatram.
ओङ्कारोऽधिमात्रम्
Pada matra matrascha.
पादामात्राश्च
Pada akara ukaro makara iti.
पादा अकारा उकारो मकार इति.
So here we are going to see analysis of the Omkara. Now, this is an important portion because especially being yogis, people give all sorts of, meanings to Omkara. So here you are getting the Upanishadic, the Shruti meaning. Shruti gives the meaning for Omkara. So the word Kara can be taken to mean word, right? So Omkara means the word Omkara or the word Om. Omkara means the word Om. So the Kara can be taken as referring to the word preceding that. So, Kara, Omkara means Om. Akara means the alphabet A. Ukara means the alphabet U. Makara means the alphabet Ma. Okay, those three things we should remember. Those who are familiar with Hindi, of course, will know this, but those who are not, they may wonder why Om is known as Omkara. So Kara is simply saying that is referring to the word which is the prefix. Omkara is Om, Akara is A, Ukara is U, Makara is Ma. Right? Right. See, and the Omkara analysis is the rest of the Upanishad. The rest of the Upanishad is what? I said there were only 12 mantras in the Upanishads. So the 8th mantra to the 12th mantra is going to be analysis of the Omkara. And here Gaudapada points out, or rather the Upanishad points out that the word Om is a single syllabled word, right? And like the Atma, this word has got 4 parts. So in case of Atma, we said Pratham Pada, Dvitiya Pada, etc. We said there are 4 padas. In the case of Om, we don't call it padas. We call the parts as matras. So that is to be remembered, matras. And here in this, in these mantras, Shruti describes these 4 matras. Okay, the first matra is Akara. Is the first matra. Okay. Now, what is unique about remember that in the English language, we do not have this word. This alphabet is not there. And don't say A. A is a different alphabet in Sanskrit or in Hindi even, right? So is not there in the English language, that you must remember. But in most Indian languages, is there. And usually in most Indian languages, I'm not sure of all the languages, okay? Hindi I know, Sanskrit I know, Gujarati I know. So at least in these three languages, and therefore I would say in most Indian languages, is usually the first letter of the alphabet, right? And Shastra says that is a very, very important letter of the alphabet. What is the reason? What is the reason why is the most important letter of the alphabet?
All the letters start from it, kind of.
That of course, but when a child is born, when the mouth is open,
Yeah.
is the first, the open mouth, the first alphabet produced is a, right? So that's one reason. Okay, now Ukara. Interestingly enough, there is no U also in the English language. U is not U. Ya is a different alphabet in Sanskrit or Hindi. Right? And here comes an important thing. According to the Sandhi rules, the combination rules in grammar, when A and U are joined, there's a rule called phonetic combination, Sandhi. So when A and U are joined, the sound produced is O. A plus U is O, right? So that is Ukara. And the third is Makara. It is Ma is a half consonant of the letter Ma. Ma. That there's a halant, a line below Ma, which indicates that the A portion is cut off. And therefore, when you put the words together, A, U, and Ma, it is Om. Because of the combination of A and O giving you O, it becomes Om. Therefore, you cannot write it as AUM in English. It has to be written as Om. Now, there are a lot of people who write it as AUM, a lot of people who pronounce it as Aum. All that is wrong from the point of view of Shastra. Or from Sanskrit grammar also, the word is Om. So these three are the matras. But we said there are four matras. So what is the fourth matra? First matra is Akara. Second matra, Ukara. Third matra is Makara. So what is the fourth matra? It is called Amatra. And what is Amatra? It is the silence after the word Om is pronounced. And therefore, Amatra, Umatra, Akara, Ukara, Makara, and Amatra. These are the four matras, the four parts of the word Om. Okay. Now, in this comparison, Shruti is saying that each part of the Atma, each pada of the Atma can be equated to the relative matra of the Om. Okay. For example, what is the first pada? Don't tell me we have forgotten. What is the first pada of Atma?
Vishwa.
Vishwa. So Vishwa should be equated to what?
Akara.
Akara. Similarly, Taijasa equated to Ukara. Prajna equated to Makara. And Turiam equated to Amatra, the silence. What is the advantage of such an equation? Once you have equated these individual padas to individual matras, and you have assimilated this knowledge, then you can use Om for your meditation. And when you chant the word Om, by association, when you chant the word Om, you will of course know that it is A, U, Ma, and a matra. And by association, the four padas, Vishwa, Tajasa, Prajna, and Brahman, will come into your mind by the law of association. And therefore, you can meditate upon the three padas, claim that you are not three padas, and claim that you are the fourth pada. This is called, thus for meditation on Brahman, Omkara is a very ideal symbol, ideal alambanam. And therefore, Omkara analysis is not different from Atma analysis because of the fact that equating the matras to the padas, an analysis of Omkara is nothing but analysis of Atma. Analysis of Atma of the three padas will lead you where? To Turiam, pure consciousness. And therefore, the analysis of the three matras would lead you to a matra, which is pure silence. And that pure silence you have to equate with Brahman. And that is why a lot of people say that in Omkara meditation, you experience Brahman. You don't experience Brahman. You know the silence between two chantings of Om. That silence has been equated to Turiam, which is your own nature. Right? And a very nice aspect of this is when you are therefore in your own nature, you are silent. Words come only when you deviate from your nature. Therefore, all talking amounts to samsara, both for the talker and for the listener. All this talking that we are doing, it is samsara only. Ideally, you should be meditating upon the Turiam status. Okay, now let's look at what the mantra says. So you look at the first word, Soyam Atma. Saha Ayam Atma, right? This is that Atma. Saha Ayam Atma. this is that Atma. Which Atma? Which was analyzed in the first 7 mantras and the 18 Kaarikas. So, Saha, I am Atma. This Atma is Omkara only, right? This Atma is not different from Omkara. Now he explains. There is Adhyaksharam. Adhyaksharam means, you are familiar with the words Adhyatma, Adidaivika, Adibhautikam, which means from the standpoint of Devatas, from the standpoint of the Bhutas, etc. Right? So here Adhyaksharam is Adi Aksharam. From the standpoint of, or from the viewpoint of the total word, Om has to be taken. So that Atma, if you are analyzing as one total word, that Atma is equal to Omkara. The Atma, which is the combination of the 4 padas, is equal to the combination of the 4 matras, which is Om. So Adhyaksharam means from the point of view of the total word, Omkara is to be taken, while Adimatram, from the standpoint of the matras, from the standpoint of the individual matras, this Omkara is what? Akara, Ukara, Makara, Iti. And you have to add here, mantra doesn't say it. You have to add what? A matra also. Akara, Ukara, Makara, a matra iti, from the point of the matras. Right. Then he says pada matraha, which is, you have to put an equal to sign over there. The 4 padas are the 4 matras. Pada matraha means the 4 padas of the Atma are equivalent to the 4 matras of Omkara, and he gives a reverse. Matrascha padaha. The 4 matras of Omkara are equivalent to the 4 padas, right? And when we talk about this, we should remember padas not only at Vyashti level, not only at the micro level, but also at Samashti level, the macro level. So Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, and Turyam are the padas at the micro level. The padas at the macro level are Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Antaryami, and Brahman. So with this, we'll stop for today. Any questions? The next one is continuation mantra 9, but that we will not have sufficient time for. So we will take it up in the next class. Any questions so far? I would request you to once again go very carefully over all this. Some of you may be familiar, some of you may not be familiar with the ideas, therefore. Okay, so with this, we'll stop for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for your
Thank
patience.
you,
Om Om.
Acharya.
Namah
Sure.
Shivaya.
Thank you.